On this episode of Convincing Idiots, we bring you idiot reviews. James Gunn takes over DC. Do we think it's a good move? Protesters throwing mashed potatoes at paintings. What in the hell is going on? Yay. Melting down. We talk about his recent troubles. A man has not showered in over 60 years. Is it Zenio Dean? Stay tuned. And our main segment this evening, non-human, scary characters, movies, to continue the Halloween theme. Keep listening. And now, on with the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again.
Convincing idiots.
Convincing idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast, brother. Welcome to the vodcast, brother. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show.
2 times.
I'm exhausted already.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Convincing Idiots. My name is Dean, the Zennial Maniac.
Brian Gen X.
My name is Nick, and I'm a millennial. And if this is your first time joining us, we welcome you, as always. We're sure it's not. We're sure you tune in week after week like the loyal,
All the
loving
time.
fan base that you are. But in the event that you have perhaps brought a friend who is not familiar with us, please instruct them to go to all of our social media platforms, like, subscribe, rate, review. You can find links to those where else other than a link tree. So just
Brother.
type into Google Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree, and you will find all of the social media accounts as well as a link to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com, which you can also find that information, which you can also poke around on. Also, you may find we currently have a brand new-ish merch line.
Yes.
So if you are looking, the holidays are fast approaching. If you are looking for perhaps a stocking stuffer for yourself or
Damn
someone
right.
that you love,
Mhm.
you can buy them their very own Convincing Idiots merchandise. So be sure to look out for that. We are also available on Boss Code Media. Our friends at Boss Code have us up there. If you're not familiar, search up Boss Code TV on your smart TV or in the App Store on your phone. You can find them there. Boss Code Media is a great place to find original content from creators all over the country. You can also find alongside us our friends at It Came From Gen X, which is Brian's other podcast. So be sure to check them out as well. So I think that covers all the bases. You know where to find us. You know who we are. You know what we do. We get together every week to talk about nerd and pop culture stuff. So for this week, let's just start with a little "Hey there, how are ya?" So
Hey there, how are ya?
might as well start with the Hulkster over there. Hulkster, hey there, how are you?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
For context, people that are listening, Dean is dressed up somewhat lazily, but like Hulk Hogan.
You two didn't dress up at all. It's Halloween, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
Austin Matthews, and
Yeah.
Brian is an Irish Guardians first baseman.
That's right.
Well, oh, and I'm lazy.
Yes.
All right.
I went through all that trouble to make what we're wearing work.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't think
I
that's
give you
lazy.
that.
He's dressed as Hulk Hogan after 3 years on meth. So.
I'll take it.
Check out the
Really
video.
good.
Check him
Yeah.
out. Yep.
Yes, come on.
It's exactly what you're picturing.
This is what YouTube is for.
Yep.
I am delightfully fine. My life is fantastic, terrific. I smell good. I'm wearing a Hulk Hogan headband. So, what else? What else could be wrong there? Nothing. I just would like to go on record, and since this is the end of spooky season, I want to be honest with the public around me and say that I don't know why, but I just would like to announce that I enjoy Brian so much. Like, I think he is a young, youthful, spry gentleman who
He's about to say some wild shit and hoping it doesn't get cut this week. I know that.
No. I would never talk about Brian's age because he is a youthful. Like, I honestly thought he was in his late 20s. Just by looking at him.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ali will approve of this commentary. Thank you.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I just would like to announce that I enjoy Brian and his youthful charm.
Well, thank you, Dean. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Has she turned it off yet? All right, you old prick. Let's get this show on the road.
Probably. 3 minutes in. Yeah. So I had a nice weekend as well. Actually, it's a very good, speaking of Allie, a very nice Allie quality time this past weekend. It was very nice. So
she's beating me up.
Quality time.
Yeah, that's right. Her daughter Marlo's in marching band at Springfield High School and does a great job. The band's terrific. We saw the last football game of the season on Friday. They had a band show on Saturday, so we saw that in the evening. Prior to that, Dean, I had fun at your son's birthday party in the afternoon. Very beautiful day. Nice time seeing everybody. And then Sunday, Allie and I'll give a shout out to first time going up there. I've passed it many times up in Richfield, Ohio, which if you're from this area, is the former site of the Richfield Coliseum, which was the big arena here for many, many years in the 70s and 80s. Saw many concerts there and basketball games and all that stuff. Anyway, Richfield is home to Whitey's Booze and Burgers.
Easy. This is a family show.
No, but but they have wonderful chili. Also.
What did he just call us?
No. Richfield, Whitey's Booze and Burgers. I've never had never seen on the menu before a flight of chili. You can order a flight of chili. They have different. Oh yes, as an appetizer.
Wow,
interesting.
Yes, they had different types of chili. It was just so good. So fun atmosphere, cool music. The whole vibe was cool. Great drink specials. So highly enjoyed them. So we'll definitely go back to Whitey's up in Richfield. So if you're in the Northeast Ohio area, go check them out. Cash or check only though. So I learned that, but they have an ATM machine in there. So if you're in this area, check them out.
You know what? I'll allow it because a flight of chili is such a splendid idea that I'm willing to overlook.
It sounds
that.
interesting.
Fantastic idea. It really is. Yeah, it's like, man, we got to do it. And they served it with like little crackers and sour cream and a whole thing. It was great, man.
Brian's like, I brought my own crackers, but I'll just put them back in here for now. I travel everywhere with a pack of crackers. So
you're telling me
you never had a fucking flight of chili in your life? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow, this is presented very well. It's great.
So what you're telling me is Whitey serves crackers.
Yes.
Okay, that's just wanted to confirm that I heard that.
They serve all creeds and
white bread,
and sexual orientation, everything. It's very open and free in there. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So that's what I've been looking forward to tomorrow. Halloween festivities. So it'll be very nice. So Nick, what's up with you, sir? That's right. Open and free.
Open and free. That's
open free with a flight of chili.
That's right. That's a ringing endorsement, I would say.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm well. Hung out with some friends on Friday and went to Dean's son's birthday party on Saturday and hung out with you guys. And Sunday just kind of laid low, so nothing too crazy to report. Just a nice family weekend. Nothing too crazy. So sorry to keep it too short there, but this wasn't anything flashy.
That's all right. Nick normally keeps it short, Dean. That's what I hear.
Keeps it
He's
short.
really got no choice.
It has to be kept short.
Length
yes.
is not his strong suit.
Okay, so how about some idiot reviews here, guys? So, have you seen anything interesting? Heard anything interesting? Anything you want to mention out there? So go ahead, Meth Hulk.
Did I do Werewolf by Night? Was that just at the party that we talked about that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Just at the
Yeah,
party.
okay.
Nick and I talked about it on a live show last week, so
All
you
right.
have not
So,
seen it.
well, first off, I finished Cobra Kai. What a goofy, silly but awesome thing. I mean, it was especially the ending. The last 2 episodes were just absurd, but it was so worth it. It's so fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's to just reserve the right that this is like you say. It's just goofy and interesting, and it's like a teen soap opera almost. Go ahead.
Right. The absurdity of it. I mean, and I'm so glad that they brought back Chosen, the actor and the character. Well, that guy could have his own spinoff show. I'd be happy with it. Like, just put him in America somewhere for no reason.
Sure.
I'd be totally okay with that. And then, like I said, Werewolf by Night. I watched it. It was on my TV. That's the best it got. It had some fun characters. It had some like the big man thing.
Well, we know you're a fan of that. Yeah.
Well, I am a good egg. Yeah, whatever that the thing was. Ted, I think they actually was his name. It was fun. The characters were fun, but the premise and the I don't know. I didn't get, like, I understood what was happening, right? But I just didn't. It didn't appeal to me. Like, it was kind of boring. I liked the look of it. It looked awesome. Visually, it was stunning, but it just didn't do it for me.
No, that's okay. I mean, it has been a big hit on for Disney Plus. So I've heard since that performed so well, they're going to be setting up other spin-offs to introduce other characters. So again, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw, I saw where they're going to introduce a lot of the X-Men this way. So they'll have a special, like a 1-hour special, something like that. And here is whomever. I think that's a great idea. You don't need to have a whole movie and reintroduce all these kids, suck up half the movie and trying to get backstories of all the mutants and all that. It's a great idea. I saw a thing where they may even bring a Silver Surfer in like this too.
I saw that too.
Why not? It's a great idea, and obviously pulls in subscribers to Disney Plus. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I even thinking maybe like where it kind of fell short for Dean. Like, it would have been interesting if they could have. I mean, I liked it because it was easily digestible. It was like, an hour long thing. So it was kind of cool. But if you made it into like a movie, let's add an extra hour to that.
They could have
maybe they could have had time to set the table a little bit more rather than everyone just meeting up at this thing. I mean, you get the gist of what's going on, but you don't understand why this is important or why this person
it's kind of like the movie
putting
Clue.
this on is important. You know what I mean? Like, it's I mean, it's much better than that, but come on.
No. But hold on. First, you've never seen the movie Clue.
Yes, I have. You made me watch it. It was horrible. You came over to my house and made me watch it on my TV in my house.
That's right. It was awesome.
I think I left for the second half. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
So anyways, but like Clue, it was the only difference is at least Clue, like, everybody gets there and you don't know who's who or what's what, but they explain it ultimately by the end. This didn't. Like, you didn't really get the other characters.
You right.
Understood
outside
what their jobs were.
The main character and her relation to
the
backstory, like whatever. There was obviously context there. But yeah, it really like they could have
I can't do these sunglasses anymore.
they could have gone back a little bit more and like
Yeah.
shown you some things, or maybe shown you what happened with the main character, why the falling out with the family, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just different things like, well, I mean, you understand why, but maybe show us, see a little bit. But
Right.
yeah, that's true. If I have a critique, it's maybe that, it was a little hurried, but I mean, it's a standalone 1-shot, 1-hour thing. So it was cool. And like you said, Dean, and I know Brian agrees as well, just, the way it was shot was really cool. Like it was a very aesthetically pleasing
Yes.
little short movie there. So, but I did like it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I guess I could have done this with when we did the Hey, how are yous? But like I mentioned, or Brian and both of you mentioned, my son's birthday party was this past Saturday, so I'm going to review Hanging Out with You two. It was fun. We got to see. I missed it, so I got to tell him happy birthday. You guys mentioned I didn't. I'm the assholes here. So happy birthday.
That always happens. Like
Right.
every time we have a get together, and it's like for your family, like Brian or I will mention it, and you just breeze right over it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So was somebody's
Yeah,
birthday.
that happens.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
happy birthday to Carter. It was enjoyable hanging out with you guys also. So it was fun. Can I really tell you, since we are it is Halloween, that I had a ghost encounter today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Brian's face. I know what he's thinking, that this is going to be bullshit. But no.
Now, when you
this
give Megan a call on your lunch break and she refuses to answer the phone, I know she is ghosting you, but that's not
No.
technically
No.
considered a ghost encounter.
No, this was, and again, I don't even know what this is, but and real quick, and I was going to this door. I had to take this keg down to these stairs and bring it in this this basement back door type thing. And I knock on it. It's a big metal door, and I knock on it like fucking Jabba's palace. Dong, dong, dong. And then I'm waiting for the guy to come in, and I have the piece of paper, the invoice in my hand. And I'm looking up kind of at the door, and the paper's down, almost by my waist, stomach area. And I telling you, it felt like somebody grabbed it and was jerked it out of my hand. It was very weird. Like I could, how like if you're holding something and you can feel somebody like pinch it and
Yeah, like resistance to the there's
Yeah.
like a tug on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was a very strange moment. But that happened
Is
to me.
it
I just
possible that
remembered.
you are just weaker than gravity, and it was just
That is always a possibility. Yeah. No, again, like I said, it's not entertaining, let alone a joke. That's something that happened that I just remembered. So
Okay. There you go. The paranormal experience.
There it is.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
So what
Where
about
was
you
this?
guys?
Are you able to say where this haunted location was?
The restaurant was 17 Public Square in Medina.
Okay, there you go, ghost hunters. Go out
There you go.
there.
That's the name of the place?
Yeah,
Did we stop there
17
on St.
Public
Patrick's
Square.
Day?
We did.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that place then now. Yeah. Okay. Right off the square.
Yep, right off the
Yeah.
square.
Okay. Yeah. How about that?
Haunted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice place.
Yeah.
Nick, how about you, sir? Anything you saw that was interesting, worth mentioning?
Yes,
Or-
I very, very excited. So I recently signed up. I mentioned for Peacock because Saturday Night Live is exclusively there now, and I don't have cable, so I have to. I
It
just sign up
is?
for that. Yeah, they took it off Hulu, so like well, it's not. I mean,
Oh,
you
the
can if
old
you have
episodes.
cable, you can. Yeah, but I mean, as the new
Gotcha.
ones come out, they're not on Hulu.
Why didn't
like
you
on-
remind me
Okay.
What's for what?
to help you out with that?
Oh no, I have, but oh well, it's all right. I already have it. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's $5 a month. It's fine. But I wanted to get that because before they were Saturday night, they air, and then Sunday morning they would be on Hulu. Not anymore. They took everything off of Hulu. Now everything's on Peacock. So I signed up for that, and I found that a show that I was in love with and watched the first 2 seasons of and was obsessed with.
Perfect Strangers.
They came out with a 3rd season, and it is now on Peacock. And I don't know if either one of you have ever heard of or seen this show, because it was back when, the cable services were more prevalent, it was a DirecTV exclusive show. You could only watch this program if it was on DirecTV. It's called Mr. Mercedes.
Nope.
I'm trying to think of the actor. He's an older Irish fellow, bearded Irish fellow that he's been in a bunch of things.
Brian Fisher?
No, not close. But he just hosted SNL like 2 weeks ago. I can't think of the guy's name.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, this show started in like 2015.
Brendan Gleeson.
That's it. That's the one. 2015, 2016, something like that. Essentially, the show begins. I don't remember if it was in Virginia or something like that. Whatever happened a few years ago, where someone took a car and drove through like a crowd of people and mowed a bunch of people over. You know what I mean? It's an actual event that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it kind of mimics that. There's all these people waiting in line at a job fair. The opening scene, and I'm not giving anything away. This is, if you watch the show, it's the very first scene. There's all these people waiting in line for a job fair, and a Mercedes comes plowing through and just mercilessly plows through a bunch of just people, all kinds of people, just, and so it starts this investigation, finding out who did this, and this, mass killer is at large, and it's kind of it's a cat and mouse thing between this. He's a retired cop,
so he
but
didn't
gets involved. No. So it's I don't know, it's really good, and it gets just really well done. It's very a good drama, very disturbing in a lot of ways. So anyway, I watched the first 2 seasons, loved it, and then season 2 left off in a way that I didn't know how they were going to continue on. Well, I found out it's on Peacock, so now I'm picking that up and watching it again, and it's kind of pivoting in a different direction for the 3rd season, and I believe this is the last season they did. I think there was only 3 seasons, because I think it's been off the air now since like 2018 or something like that, 2019. So, but yeah, anyway, if you get a chance, if you have Peacock, it's called Mr. Mercedes. You won't be disappointed. It's just a fantastically done show. Very good acting. It's a good thriller. So definitely kind of is disturbing in some areas and really has you on the edge of your seat. So, check out Mr. Mercedes. That is my one idiot review.
Okay.
All right.
I'm current with Andor, so Andor on Disney Plus.
Yep, I'm
really enjoying this thing. It's
a slow burn, but it's good.
It is. It's just very good acting and storytelling, and I just think it's great. Beautifully shot. The whole thing.
I love that Andy Serkis is back.
Yes, he was great. Yeah, everything about it I like. It's
so
obviously
is the show bringing the main character of Rogue One up to that point of how he gets involved?
Correct.
To that is that
correct?
Eventually.
And it's also the story of like the whole rebellion, how it gets started,
right?
Like how Mon Mothma gets.
You just said the same thing like 4 times.
Huh?
You said Mon Mahanafaha.
No, Mon Mothma. That's her name.
Mon Mahanafaha.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, it explains how the rebellion gets started and all that behind the scenes shit. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay.
No, it's cool. Like you say, it just gives you that different perspective, because if something like that was really happening, you're right. You'd have to have some type of events to rile people up and motivate people to rise up. You have to raise money and obtain weaponry and all that stuff. And then meanwhile, then the Empire, same type of deal. They're trying to politically find ways to continue to gain power and use slave labor. It's all kinds of stuff. It's really it's realistic in that respect. And many, I don't know. So I'm enjoying it. I also watched, and I rented this on Amazon Prime, a new movie called Slayers, and it just came out this year.
That's a good band.
Yes, it's interesting because it's written in the same text as the rock band Slayer, but Slayers. It's a vampire movie. Thomas Jane is in this. Abigail Breslin, Malin Ackerman, and a few other people as well. So it's an okay movie, but one thing I will give it credit for is it's a very modern vampire movie. It's definitely a Gen Z movie, and it actually made me reflect for a minute how, in many respects, society is kind of fucked up because it's vampires, right? They've been around for many, again, they've been around for a long time, and since they're living in this day and age, one way that they're trying to bring in victims into their compound is they're recruiting all these influencers online, streamers, and so they're fronting this whole business that we want to hire all these influencers, stuff like that, and people come in. They offer them some type of a job opportunity, whatever it is, and they fly in, and now you're screwed because now you're in the compound and everything else. So instead of luring people into like a castle or something like that in the classic Dracula movies, they're luring these young people who are streaming and content and all this stuff. It's just like it felt in that respect very
like Scientology,
realistic.
Oh
well, no, it's just that they're presenting. We have a successful business. We want to hire you to be our marketing thing or this, that, and the other. And people are just kind of jumping at the chance and they're flying out there and then they're getting killed, basically, right? So, yeah. So, and Thomas Jane's kind of a grisly old, vampire slayer type guy, and I don't know. It's okay. It's definitely like a B movie. But like I said, the one thing I'll give it credit for is the modern feel to it, and it definitely gives you that taste of where society is. It just you're so into content, and there's even a scene where they're hunting a vampire, and the lady's like, "I'm going to stream this." puts her phone up on a gun, and out there, and all her followers are like, "What's going on?" And so it kind of shows it in that perspective as well, as if she's doing this online and people are streaming it, and it's like that's what would happen.
Yeah,
Sure.
oh, yeah.
If something like that was really happening, that's exactly how something like that would go down. So I don't know. I give it like it's an average movie, but like I said, it's the sense of the modern take on a vampire movie, I'll give it credit for. So it was worth $6 to rent. So put it that way.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Slayers.
Slayers.
Yes, Slayers on Amazon
Did you
Prime.
guys
can find it.
did you guys know that they call Aaron Blake the insurance slayer because he slashes prices?
Oh,
Yeah. He makes it affordable for you and me. Let me go ahead and tell you guys this. Aaron Blake Insurance. I'll tell you, brother. Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And make sure when you do, tell him that the humor slayers of Convincing Idiots sent you.
That's right.
We slay humor dead in its tracks.
That's right.
That's right.
Goes no further than us.
There's no life left in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Humor slayers.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with some pop culture headlines, some interesting things happening out there in the world of pop culture, including Dean applying for his design work at Adidas, I believe. It's something we're going to talk about here a little bit.
Stay tuned to find out.
That's right. And we'll also get into our Idiot Inquiry of the Week coming up on our main segment, continuing our Halloween season themed episodes. We're going to talk about some of our favorite non-human scary movies, characters, whatever. So that'll be coming up later in our main segment. So hang with us, We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Come on to pop culture headlines here, gentlemen. So that's right.
Don't mind if I do.
That's right. A couple passings here of notes. We'll mention these first here. So,
Convincing idiots, obituaries.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. So Leslie Jordan, actor, passed away. You may not know the name. Now, he was on Hearts of Fire and Will and Grace. He passed away on October 24th. But he kind of made a little resurgence. So during the pandemic, he was making all these very just nice, funny, sweet videos. And his Instagram just blew up in a nice way. So he was just sort of a resurgence for his popularity, because it was one of those, well, we're all in lockdown and pandemic and this and that. He was definitely putting content out there that just was making people smile and just giving little happy moments. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Are you guys familiar with Leslie Jordan, Nick?
Yeah, he's one of those actors that like I'd seen in things, over the years, and I couldn't quite, pick it out. But one of the more recent things that I do remember him being in was he was in American Horror Story, the Roanoke season. Do you remember? I don't know if you watched that one, but he was in that one throughout. Like he was a regular character.
Okay.
Cuba Gooding Jr. was in that one and everything. But it was. He was just a pleasant man. Some people just have a way about them that like they just kind of make you smile. Yeah. Just like this little happy guy that you just kind of want to hug and just, he's just a delightful man. It's not like I ever met him, like I don't know, but I mean by all accounts he was a delightful man. But it's sad to hear of that. I mean, like I said, it wasn't somebody I could pick out of a ton of things. You see him,
but
he's a celebrity personality, you saw him and stuff and whatever, but like he just seemed like a delightful man with a good spirit to him, and so it's sad to hear that he passed.
Absolutely. Yep. Dean, any other thoughts on Mr. Jordan?
No, kind of like what Nick said. I mean, you saw him in a bunch of different things, and he just always seemed a good actor. Very very welcoming presence to him. Yeah. So that's sad. What he was 80.
No, 67.
67.
Wow. He died in a car crash.
He looked horrible for his age.
He probably would laugh at. If he was alive, he probably would laugh at that joke. Yeah, it's just one of those. It's like all the garbage that goes out there in social media and stuff like that. He was a guy just making nice, fun content just to make you feel happy for a moment, so I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And definitely from my childhood, Dean to some extent, and Nick, you're probably familiar as well though. So the Rankin Bass holiday specials, these guys, these are the like the claymation animated stop motion animation specials. They're timeless. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Frosty the Snowman,
Year Without a Santa Claus.
Year Without a Santa Claus, one of my favorites.
Rankin Bass. Maybe we should do something like Rank My Ass and like have our asses in like claymation, and people can judge which ones are the best.
Okay, sure.
I'll keep workshopping that one. But
okay.
Yeah, thank you. This is not live, right? I can edit this. Okay,
You
so-
normally do.
Yeah.
I'll give you a guess which one glows.
Hmm.
No, so
The
Jules
majority of
Bass-
people stop me on the street and go, "Wait, you're on the podcast, really?" I mean, I hear Brian and Nick, but
I may have heard 3 words of yours. Yeah.
you do the intro. Oh, and then they talk for
Take off.
4 hours.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I did not know that he also did. Rankin Bass also did the animated version of The Hobbit back in 1980. I used to watch that
really?
special all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, so they just did a lot of stuff, those two guys. So he was 87. He died last
Interesting.
Tuesday. And then Mr. Rankin passed away prior, so he passed on. I don't see the year here, but anyway. So now both gentlemen have passed. Those specials, I watched those specials. When I was a kid, that was always something that got me excited for the Christmas season. Was when those specials came on. I watched those on network television for years and years and years and years. Now I own a lot of those even on DVD. I still watch them to this day. Is that a holiday season? Some I like better than others, but there's definitely some I watch without fail, like A Year Without a Santa Claus, and those with Santa are the best in my opinion. Just terrific. The animation is awesome, even holds up to date. The music, the voice acting, it's just a very sweet, warm feeling watching those things.
It does. It embodies Christmas to me in many ways.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like when you see, and I mean, those were long past. I mean, they were not current when I was a kid, but they were.
Nope.
I mean, they're timeless classics. Like you said, they're shown every year, and I grew up with all the same ones. And yeah, it's just something about that really like brings it embodies Christmas time. Yeah.
It
Did
was,
any thoughts on Rankin? Go ahead, please.
It
Not
was,
quite like Jingle All the Way does, but it does embody Christmas
sure.
time. Go ahead,
It's
Dean.
close. It's a close second.
It's close.
Yeah.
those. Well, first of all, did you guys hear that they're going to run? You know how the Christmas Story is 24 hours on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
They're doing. This is in November, like November 26th, I believe. I can't remember the other movie, but one of it is a Christmas Vacation. It's going to be 24 hours on one of the days, and then there's another one they're running 24 hours a day. And a lot of people, Nick's age or whatever, have only known Christmas Story to be run 24 hours a day. That's like a stapled in family tradition, a holiday tradition, and all of those Rankin Bass movies were the tradition before anything like that, because it was on when there was only 3 channels.
Yep.
And it was on every single year. So, from people that are from in their 80s till now, that is and will always be like the beginning, the holiday tradition. Now I think they're run just after Thanksgiving to kind of kick off the season. So yeah, it is the staple in American Christmas. Well, probably outside of U.S., but I can only speak for us.
Yeah, you're right. It's those like Charlie Brown. There's a few that are just every year people look forward to those, and like I said, they buy them, and it's just like I said, it continues to pass down after many generations. So I'm sure Peyton will continue to watch those. I introduced those to her when she was little, and yeah, so just great stuff. So rest in peace. Okay, so big news in the world of comic movies. So now we've all talked about how much we enjoyed the last Suicide Squad and the last Peacemaker series by James Gunn. So James Gunn, we know, really made his mark in the Guardians of the Galaxy first movie. He was fired from the project for some alleged behavior, whatever. They did bring him back smartly on Marvel to direct the third Guardians of the Galaxy, which will be out next year. He's also directing the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which we've had a trailer for recently, that will be out this year in November. So I'm actually looking forward to that. If you've not seen that trailer, by the way, go check that out. That looks like a lot of fun. Kevin Bacon is in the Guardians of the Galaxy special. I think what it is, the Star-Lord wants Kevin Bacon as a gift, or at least they take it that way. So they break into Kevin Bacon's house and steal him or something like. Anyway, it looks like a lot of fun. But DC is, as we've talked many times on this podcast, just having trouble finding their way. It's just very inconsistent. One movie's okay, one movie's not as okay. There's not really any.
Peter Safran is the other guy, his partner that's going to be taking over DC.
Yes, thank you. James Gunn are the co-chairs and co-CEOs of Warner Brothers' new DC studios. It just, no consistency, whatever. And I think it's a good move for DC. I mean, it's just some of the last, those two things, the Peacemaker and the last Suicide Squad movie, in my opinion anyway, some of the best things that DC's put out in a long time.
And why?
Why is it? It's just.
I agree, but why would you say that is?
It's just, I like the whole feel to it. It's not taking itself too seriously. It's not dark.
There it is.
It's like the new Batman movie. That's okay. Batman is a dark character.
But that's not DC. That's not going to be those DC studios. That's its own. That's from
you're right.
Whatever. But that's a different universe, and that's okay. Like you said, that's okay to get dark in that sense.
Batman in itself, Batman's a dark character. He is a dark. If they had a lighthearted Bat, it's not fucking Adam West anymore. It was fine back then, but that's not what Batman is today. But like even the Justice League and all that, it's like these. It's not. It's just too dark and it's not fun. It's not that much fun. So it's lighthearted. He does an excellent job of blending in music. The soundtracks are great. Kind of takes it to a different level. I don't know, man. It's just the whole feel to it is it's just a great vibe for me. So DC has so many great characters. There's no reason at all with the characters that they have that they can't compete with Marvel. And I think so finally somebody had enough brains to say, let's bring in some people who are true fans of this type of medium, right? They understand what it takes to create some interesting and fun, lighthearted and dark, also dark, comedy, stories. And let's do something completely different here and maybe tie some things together, get some consistency going here. So I think it's great. I don't know. I think it's a great move for DC. So I'm looking forward to what they were to do with this, going forward. So I don't know. What do you think, Dean? I know you like James Gunn as well. So what do you think about all this?
Well, if anybody listening or watching wants to go back in the archives, we have said this before. Actually, I think we said this quite a few months ago that James and we named James Gunn should be the guy to lead it up.
Yeah, that's right.
What DC or what Marvel has, they have a Kevin Feige.
Right.
They have one person where the buck stops here. They have one person who takes the credit and blame. They have the one person who says yes or no ultimately. And just like Star Wars just hired Dave Filoni to be that guy. All of these franchises need that one person to go, no, yes. You know what I mean? To hone and to hold the franchise. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what James Gunn and Peter Safran, I believe, are going to do. Is they're going to be holding people accountable, keeping the story structure the way it should be, and especially, as we know from his eyes, what he is capable of doing. I'm all for it. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Nick, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah. You guys pretty much covered it there, but yeah, I agree.
Let's move on then.
It's a good move for them. I was going to say that the thing that's, that I like about the content we've seen from him so far is that they're not trying to do the Marvel model. They're not. Justice League for me felt like they were trying to do a Marvel movie like Marvel, but you can't because they're the best at it. And when they did Aquaman, I don't know what the fuck that was, but I think that they were trying to do something like that. So, like they were trying to have like a Marvel.
Wonder Woman was good.
The first one was okay. Yes, the first one was good. Yes, I agree with you. Second one was just I don't get the
I
second
hear it was
one
dog
at
shit.
all.
I didn't watch it, but I heard it was
No
dog shit.
reason.
Yeah,
No
same.
reason.
It kind of like everybody's reviews scared me away. I had every intention
Right.
on seeing it, and everybody's like, "It's weird."
Same
No,
as
I don't like
Aquaman.
it.
I've never seen Aquaman because
Me
of
either.
that.
Yep,
Yeah,
me
you-
too.
Straight up, I mean, it's not even like it's like bad enough to where like
I wish somebody would have given me those things on Werewolf by Night. But anyways,
It's not bad enough to where it's like it could be funny. It's just like really bad. It's like in today, like it just the it's just horrible. The dialogue, the plot's dumb, the effects were not good. It's just the whole thing was bad. So I don't even know how something like that gets made on a major movie budget like that. It's just I don't know.
Well,
But we're not here to
there's-
shit on Aquaman as much as that's one of my favorite things to do. But
Well, we talked about the canceled Batgirl because I think it was, they were afraid of more public reaction like you just had. Like, what are they doing? This is just not good.
right.
well,
And they're
they're
willing to
saying
eat
that. I mean, everybody's at least critics and whatnot are raving about Black Adam.
I see that what I've seen is on that, it's like one of the biggest disparities between the audience review and the critics review in Rotten Tomatoes. So the audience is loving it, and the critics don't like it. And that's okay.
Interesting.
Who's
I would
paying to
much
go see it
rather
anyways,
go see a movie that the audiences love. I mean,
Of course,
fuck critics.
right?
The
that's the
audience
thing,
are
too.
people like us. That's who I want to hear from.
That's exactly.
That's odd because our listenership says otherwise.
Right.
No, I'm
is
interested to see. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm curious to see Black Adam, I guess.
Are you
I've
guys
seen
aware of the
nothing-
spoiler?
No.
Brian, are you?
With
You could
Superman?
escape. Yeah.
Yeah,
Henry
that's
Cav-
kind of
Henry
it's sort of just known. I think that he makes a
Okay.
cameo. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see Henry Cavill back.
but that's
I've
the thing. It's
seen-
like, go ahead, Nick.
I was just saying, I've seen nothing in that trailer that that makes me go, I think this looks good. It's just kind of a bunch of nothingness, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, and I wonder if it was going to get a big reaction because it's The Rock playing the character. And
Sure.
people love The Rock and blockbuster movies, and they'll go see it. But yeah, I just haven't. When they announced it, I'm first of all not very familiar with the character, so like that, there's no like anything about like the portrayal of the character for me in it. But I'm like, oh, okay, well, we got Dwayne Johnson playing a character. That's kind of cool. Definitely built like a superhero. But that'll be interesting to see him in a prominent role like that. But then I see the trailers and I'm like, I don't like, they're not showing me anything that's looks compelling. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
I'm
I
gonna go
agree.
see it.
I'll see it, but it's like because the stigma with DC. It's like I'm not like there's no reason like every Marvel movie that comes out, for the most part, I'm excited to see it, with the exception of the Eternals. But any other ones, I'm like, I'm interested. I'll go see it in the theater because it's a Marvel movie. It's probably going to be something good. Although there's been some clunkers lately with Thor and some of the other stuff here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the last couple things I've been excited for with DC were, of course, the Batman and then Peacemaker, because I was surprised how good the Suicide Squad was.
Yeah.
So obviously, people thought the same thing within DC, within Warner Brothers, and they were smart enough to make a move. And yeah, so I think it's got nothing but upside, I think.
Sure.
So yeah, okay,
Yep.
good stuff.
As long as they continue to forge their own path and try to be their own thing, that's I think their best bet.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Don't try to copy Marvel. To your point, create your own vibe. Have fun with it, and people they'll gravitate toward it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. We talked about last week on. I don't want to dwell on this too long here, but on our last episode, our 2-year episode last week, our idiot inquiries around extreme protesting with girls that they threw soup on a very expensive Van Gogh painting to protest fossil fuel oil, basically. So it happened again since that. So it's German protesters threw mashed potatoes at a Monet painting that sold for $110 million, also protesting fossil fuels. It wasn't the same group,
Okay, different
but it
people.
was different people. but
Different
obviously,
people, different substance, different painting. It's a whole different thing. It's
That's
just all the
correct.
exact same things happen. Isn't that
That's
weird? That's
right.
kind of weird.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
Did they also
certainly it
try
was
to? Did
based
they
off
also
that.
try to staple themselves or whatever to the fucking wall?
I didn't see they try to glue themselves to the wall or anything like that, but it's just
Okay.
it seems to be the current trend of extreme
You
protest.
gotta glue yourself to the wall, or else no one's gonna take you seriously.
But I
Right.
think
I've been saying that for years.
Right. Exactly.
yeah. So, but they did use mashed potatoes. So that's an interesting.
Do we know if they were instant
Pass
or
the
real?
mash.
I'm not quite sure of that, but
Were they
Okay.
mashed when they hit the wall, or were they mashed upon hitting the wall? Pass
assume-
the mash.
well, you throw a potato, it's not going to
Uh-huh.
it's just probably going to hit and not really.
What if they-
probably were
You've
mashed
obviously never seen how
fine.
hard Nick can throw a potato.
What if they hit it
Mhm.
with like a t-shirt cannon Phoop. Against the
Maybe.
wall?
What was that sound effect again?
It sounds all too familiar, Dean.
It does.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. And the sunflower painting last week, I didn't realize that was valued at $40 million back in 1987. It sold
Ooh-wee.
for $40 million. So it's crazy.
Do you think
Crazy
anybody's
trend.
going to catch any heat if say you're a spectator, you're just at the museum enjoying your painting or you're looking at the paintings and sculptures, whatever. Do you think anybody's going to catch heat if you see somebody throw mashed potatoes on a fucking painting and you walk and just drop them with like a punch to the skull? Nobody's going to fault you for that.
No,
They're
I
going to
don't
praise
think
you
so.
for it. I think
would-
somebody should punch these people in the fucking head.
Yeah, like we said last week, I don't understand why defacing a very valuable work of art to get attention. I just don't get it. There's other ways
Is
to
the
get attention.
painting
So I don't know.
worth more now because it's a part of pop culture? Like even now, it's like in the news and it's this big deal and it's this movement. Now this is the one that had mashed potatoes thrown on it. This is the
depends-
one
you
that
know
had
what?
soup thrown on it.
That's interesting you say that. It probably depends on the buyer. There's probably some people out there that because it was an interesting story, like you say. But
I mean,
certainly
the punching in the head could go for someone who's going to pay $40 million for a painting also. So, I mean, it's all value is what it is worth to the buyer. I mean, it's up one day and down the next. I mean, not, art is art, but,
I guess you're right. But I'm sure if you're a collector of classic art like that, you probably would, in your perspective, probably would devalue the work of art. I don't know. I hope this
Your
trend is
fucking
not
painting's
continuing,
always going to
so.
smell like Thanksgiving. Just
That's right.
awful.
Yeah.
I've never smelled anything that smelled like Thanksgiving and been like, this is awful.
Your painting, you'll always know that there was mashed potatoes thrown in it because of the smell, and that will make you sad because yes, although mashed potatoes tasty, delicious, and smells wonderful,
there's no yam smell, and I don't like that.
How about you smell my yam bag?
Yam bag.
Yam bag. Okay. Well, speaking of smells, Nick,
And
you
yam bags,
came across a interesting pop culture story. You want to share your
I did.
story? Yeah.
So, this gentleman was. I sent you the thing, and I can't even remember where was he. He was in.
I'll tell you 1 second here.
So we recently this week. I'll start here. This week we lost what was widely considered to be the world's dirtiest man. I believe he was 94. He passed away at 94. This gentleman.
Yes, that's right.
It had been documented that he had not bathed in over 60 years.
So he's an Iranian hermit.
He's an Iranian hermit. There you go. He would some of the
That sounds
things
like a
from the
special
story.
species of crab.
Iranian hermit.
He does look fairly dirty in the photos. Yes.
Probably the crust built up on his skin could serve as a shell in which he could live in. So there was that.
Right.
I guess he was. They said he lived in like a hut that like community built for him because before that he was just living in a hole in the ground. There was a video of him smoking 4 cigarettes at one time. Yes, he would also They said he would smoke animal excrement. There was that too.
Well.
He had animal feces in a pipe that he would smoke. He
Put that in
believed
your pipe
that
and smoke it.
quite literally, yes. He believed that soap and cleanliness and bathing and things like that would make him ill. So that was, I guess, part of
How
his
old
thing.
was he when he died?
He was 94. I mean, now
Well,
granted, that's
fuck.
not
Who are we to argue?
104, but 94 is a long, and I mean, by all accounts, I mean,
Yeah.
filthy as he may have been, he seemed like he was pretty content living his filthy lifestyle. So
The only better thing would be if they made him shower, and that's what killed him.
yes, right,
Hmm.
yeah. So and then I guess so we kind of didn't mention him in obituaries. So rest in peace to the
yes.
world's
Yeah.
dirtiest man. So meanwhile, the world's second dirtiest man still finds a way to show up for our podcast every week.
That's
So
right.
at least we still have Dean, and for that we are forever grateful.
I
That's
just
right.
showered. Or are you talking
That's
about my
Your
my
yam bag.
Dean's yam bag smells like Amu Haj or whatever his
Yep.
name was. Yeah, Haji.
Yeah.
H-A-J-I.
He
Yeah.
had like two names. One was like a name that was given to him by locals or whatever, and the other was
Mhm.
there was two names in the story. What is it?
Stank dick.
Stank dick. Yeah. But
Old
no,
yam bags.
there's
Go ahead.
definitely
Yep.
that just goes to further my belief that it's like everything we went through with COVID and everything like that, and some people would get sick and be like, "It was fine. I had the sniffles, and it's made up because I didn't die." Or some people do. It's just like anything. We've discussed on this show various. You guys have had it, and Dean didn't know he had it, and Brian down and out for a couple days, but he's got it a couple times. And from my knowledge, I've never got it, and I don't even see how that's possible. But I've never tested positive.
I've
It's
never tested
all-
positive either.
Okay.
I've always assumed that I've had it once or twice, but
Okay. Yeah.
every time I've tested, which I've tested quite a few times,
Yeah.
always tested negative.
So like, it'd be one of those things where like your second cousin twice removed got COVID, and you're like, I'll take off work for 10 days, kind of thing. That was just you being safe.
No, when it first happened, no, Megan had it.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
And we had literally slept in the same bed the night before. So, and back then the restrictions or whatever was
Right.
if you had it.
Yes.
And I didn't even test that time
Yeah.
because I just assumed shit. And I showed no symptoms or whatever. But yeah, I just went on the assumption. That's why I didn't test, because I went on the assumption. I was like, I laid next to her the whole time.
Yeah.
And she tested the next day, and whatever.
Right. But I say all that to say, whether it be COVID or an illness or the way you live your life, I mean, somebody could look at that and go, see, what do doctors know? This guy's smoking feces and smoking 4 cigarettes at a time. He doesn't bathe and he's fine. It's like, well, that's not necessarily. I mean, yes, some people just, for whatever reason, genetically, are impervious to what a lot of medical studies show us or whatever. So it's crazy to me how, like, even though we're all human beings and we're all, you know what I mean? Like,
Sorry, but my genetics allow me to smoke coke.
yeah, right.
I don't know what yours does.
I guess I'm one of the
Mhm.
lucky ones. I can
Mhm.
smoke shit out of a bowl and be totally fine. But no, it's just, it's crazy.
Shit, man.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, have you ever said, try some of this shit?
Mhm.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this shit?
That's pretty skunk. It's pretty skunk weed.
Dog.
Yeah, it's actually like skunk shit.
That's right. Okay. Well,
I
another
thought
thing,
it was a bit nutty.
Yeah.
Nah.
Speaking of going to shit here, the career of
If you haven't already
Kanye
done
West.
so, please subscribe to our podcast. Oh, is that
That's right. That's right. No, so Kanye West right now is really spiraling right now. So is making a lot of pop culture news at the moment here. So he made some recent anti-Semitic comments on Twitter. They were taken down, but not before
Were
people
they
got
taken
on.
down or were they taken out of context?
No, they were deleted. I think from his. Yeah,
Go ahead,
deleted
Nick.
from his. Yeah,
Argue
I
this
wanna
one,
see,
bud.
I want to see how this goes.
it's kind of hard because
I'm
he
gonna
said
just sit back
something.
and listen.
He said something along the lines of going DEFCON whatever on the Jewish people or something like that. It was pretty direct. So since those comments, a lot of folks are kind of disassociating themselves from him. It's sort of a max exodus lately. So he's lost some pretty big shoe deals and clothing deals and agent deals and a lot of different things. He oddly showed up recently at the Skechers headquarters, unannounced and uninvited.
I didn't even.
So-
Skechers? Come on.
Right, and apparently they're owned by a Jewish
Gotta do
family
something.
or something like that. So they kind of threw him.
Sure.
People that
They've
work
been-
at Skechers don't want to wear Skechers, man. Come on.
I like Skechers, and I'll stop. No, but they.
And K-Swiss. Leave them alone. Stop
That's
it.
right.
White sketch.
That's right. And Ruse. And that was a good shoe right there. Ruse shoes. They had a pocket. You could zip it, put your key in,
Oh,
your money.
yeah. Those
I
were
don't know,
kind
I'm
of cool.
just kidding.
They
Anyways.
made a comeback. Like when I was in high school, there was people were wearing those again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, maybe Kanye West should try to go to Ruse.
Yeah,
Maybe
there you go.
they take a call from him or something like that.
This is the perfect example of somebody where cultural and society is just trying their damnedest to cancel him, and he refuses to be canceled.
I
Well, he has a
disagree.
lot of money. Now
He's fucking holding on, and everybody's trying. And
Yep.
when I say everybody, I'm talking about like sponsors and people on Twitter, whatever. I'm not talking about people like you, Nick, that are like just fans of his music. I'm talking about people that are firing him from endorsement deals and all this stuff.
Well, I would say I feel like I'm not impressed is the wrong way, but it's quite
Yes,
remarkable.
by all means, let's hear it.
It's quite remarkable how many incidents there have been with him, how long it has gone on, and how long it has taken. Like he's had to reach this level to get here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's done everything he can to be canceled for the last I don't know, 15 years.
It's like he's it's like he's challenging
Yeah.
society.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Like how far can I push this?
How
Like,
much
it's like,
wacky can
how-
I be?
How
Yeah.
batshit hateful, crazy, whatever can
Right.
I get before they actually? I'm done. It's
Okay, so here's the question for you guys: what's the end game? How does this end? Through all these past 15 years that he's been doing this and getting more crazy and wacky and all this, where does this end? How do you guys see this ending for him?
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm
interested in your opinion because you're a big fan of his. You're a fan.
I've been a fan of him for many years. Love his music, and I've had since all this. I've even had friends reach out to me and be like, "So how do you feel now? What's going on?" Because I've been one of the last guys standing, defending. I'm I don't agree.
You called him a genius recently.
I did,
Not
yeah.
long ago.
I mean,
You sure
in
did.
many art forms and in art medias, he very much is. But even when he does crazy shit, I'm always I don't agree with that. But hey, he's got issues, and he's the problem is
Nick's been waving his flag for years.
When someone has issues, that's fine. People do have issues. The difference is, are you doing anything to work on your issues? Are you trying to help yourself, or are you just continuing to spiral crazier and crazier? And for a long time, I
this
honestly
is Nick pulling that flag in slowly, looking around, going, "Oh no,
no." And I don't take no. At no point before this do I would never take back defending him on anything, because I've always felt that for wherever he was coming from was a good place. He wasn't well in his mind. He meant well, but just went about things the wrong way, and just was eccentric and all these things. But I mean, at this point, I don't know. When you say Endgame, when you first said it, I'm thinking the sad part of this is, and I don't know if this is how you meant the question or not, but I don't believe there's an end game for him with it. This is not he's not well, and I don't know what this is now, where he's at. I don't know how the artist that I was following 15 years ago, that's making, Jesus walks and, things like that, they're making these incredible albums, making these incredible songs, standing up on live television and calling out the president for not doing enough for black people, like how we got here to a White Lives Matter shirt and to anti-Semitic remarks and also, like, especially, like, not that I knew her or him then or anything like that on any personal level, but following the career, especially watching the Yeezus documentary and seeing that how his mother was, the educator, the just the loving, supportive, motherly, just woman that she was, and how much she meant to him and all he did to try to make her proud. And I guess there was always that too, where I'm like, he's just got this part in him that I think he's almost like a child, to where, like, he can't, like a child that misbehaves. They're doing it because they have something good in mind, but they don't know how to do it right. So what I say all that to say, I don't know how we got from this person, or the way that I perceived this person, to where we are now. Like, I really, like, I feel like I went to sleep one night and then one day you woke up and fucking shit was crazy. Like, he just went, like, I mean, and to say Kanye went off the deep end now, as opposed to the other things he's done, is really saying something. Like I said, there's quite the history of doing things that are drastic, that are sporadic, that are crazy, that are, you know what I mean? Like, but this is just a whole other level. And like, I don't care who you are or what kind of music you like, or, how much he's meant to you or his music's meant to you. Like, this is unacceptable. I wouldn't hold him to any different standard than I would anybody else. This is just inexcusable. So I don't know what is in his mind that's like making him think that these things are okay, especially when he's supposed to be this man of God and this Christian and this, that's doing everything. He's got a school now, and the Donda school, and he's talking about that. It's almost like, who was the guy in Waco, Texas, that with the compound that,
David Koresh,
that, like, thought like Jesus was talking to him or God was talking to him. Like, you almost wonder, like, is he, like, think that he's
right?
I don't know. I don't know where he's I don't know where all this comes from. I can't make an excuse for him. I wouldn't want to. It's unacceptable. So it sucks, because I've been a big fan of his for years, and it's tough to see him spiral out this way. Same with it was like Marilyn Manson early in the year. I watched the Evan Rachel Wood thing. I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. I was really a big fan of the art he created, and I thought he was an intelligent, well-spoken, decent person with a gimmick, and that it just, you know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks to see your heroes go down like that. But it's completely inexcusable, and it fucking sucks. But he definitely deserves everything that he's lost. So.
Do you think he gets it together? Like you say, the end game. Do you think he comes back and apologizes?
Like he goes into rehab, he gets on medication, and he does like
screw everybody, and I don't care. And
I could see a path for it. I could see it being possible. Definitely hard though. Like, you can always, plead insanity on the whole thing and be like, hey, man, I was,
America loves a comeback story.
Sure they do. I was done with him when he talked to Tucker Carlson.
Right.
Before all I was like, motherfucker sat down with Tucker Carlson and is trying to get this fucking piece of shit to like him. Like, screw that. No, I'm done.
Yep.
Just insane. It's crazy. So just, man, sucks.
Okay.
It's a no go.
Okay.
That's a no for me, dog.
It's going to be a no for me, dog. What do you think, Brian? I know you were the biggest fan of his, of all of us. So what would...
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of his. Just nothing. It's just, it's okay. Yeah. It's just, but it just seems like a guy that's not mentally well right now. That's right. It. Yeah. So I think that's what it is, and I also think too, if you're in that position, I'm sure the mental tolls it would be levels that we can't even comprehend. As far as you have extreme wealth, you can have whatever you want, possession wise, you lose your wife, and it's already got to be like, wow, because it's like you have all this fame and power and money. We talked about this on prior episodes too, and your wife leaves, and with your kid, and that's got to be tough to think. Wow, like it's hard to absorb that. Anyways, anybody, regardless how wealthy or whatever you are, it's hard to go through something like that, I'm sure. And I don't know, it's just got to do a number on your mind as far as what your sense of reality is really. It's just a whole different level, I'm sure, what you think is what you can get away with and what you can say, and I don't know. So
look at it this way. He has become so famous and so wealthy that you lose sight of reality a little bit.
Right.
I mean, look at this podcast. We're a global podcast, and
right.
we have all this fame and fortune ourselves. And let's face it, Nick, Brian's kind of become an asshole.
It's hard. It's hard to.
I saw him push a kitten down and take its lunch money.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
What you gonna do?
A poor little kitten, just on his way to the milk stand, just to get
on his way to the milk stand.
Yep.
And he took it, and then he bought the milk, and then just poured it out in front of him and said, "Yep, this is what happens in Bryantown." I don't even know what that means.
Pissed on the milk on the sidewalk, said, "Lick it up, bitch."
Well, he was doing stuff like that before he was famous. I'll tell you that. He has fetishes.
I get phone calls daily trying to convince me that I don't need you guys. It's just you guys are just just
weighing you down.
Dead weight. Exactly right. Everything was fine until recently.
And how do you respond to Nick's mom?
We were recently heard. Everything was okay, but we were recently heard. Now this is true in Switzerland and Greece, and as soon as those two countries picked us up, it's been a lot different since that time. I don't know. It's just different. I don't know. Well,
Brian, real quick, because it just popped into my head. Have you posted or anything the picture of you and I with Nick's mom?
I have not posted that yet. I did do that.
Good. I'm just saying it was a lovely picture.
Which one?
Lovely picture. The Nicholas one.
The Polaroid one, or the one we took at your house?
No, not that one. No, we can't post that. Okay. I mean, we'll get canceled. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
Good Lord, you couldn't even see where your finger was. All right, go ahead. Let's continue.
Oh Lord, I will say, you know what? You mentioned that in all seriousness. Okay, you mentioned Nick's mom. So Nick's mom is one of our first official supporter of the show, making a donation every month to the show. We thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
Jennifer, thank you so much. We appreciate just the money's not important so much as just your support, and she listens to every live episode, everything. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey Jen,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll thank you later.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, guys, I mean, that topic ran a little bit long here. I think that's actually, we're going to talk about some other stuff on idiot inquiry. I think that's a pretty good idiot inquiry this week as far as, just the take on how a person with such fame what it does to somebody, your lack of judgment. And at the end of the day, if he is mentally not the best right now, hope he gets help. Hope Absolutely. He's okay. Hope he can't apologize. What he said was way out of line. He's going to have to definitely make amends and own what he said and everything. So, if he's not sick and he's not and he's mentally competent and everything, fuck him. I agree with that. I agree. If he does not own what he said and try to make amends to the Jewish community and otherwise, then you're right. He definitely does not deserve to be forgiven, and he has to accept the consequences of what he said. That's it.
I have to start going out of my way and apologizing to Allie for, things that I've said.
You should. You should on a daily basis.
I know.
Yep. Okay, guys, so we're going to take another break here, and we're going to come back with our main topic this evening, non-human, scary movies, characters, or movies that are based on non-human characters and stuff like that, and content. Anything we'll talk about is about non-human horror, sci-fi, frightening.
I can't wait to talk about horrors
out there. I hope your list is correct.
I got a list of horrors right here.
We're millionaires, boys. I'll share it with all of you. Why, in a few months it'll be up in lights on Broadway. Come, the eighth wonder of the world!
Wild, weird, wonderful. The stuff for which movies were made. Adventure, to make you wonder if it's true, while your eyes convince you that it is. Truly, the thrill of thrills. Don't miss it this time.
And welcome back to Convincing Idiots. You might not recognize me. I'm Millennial Nick. I'm here with my bro host, Gen X Brian, Zennial Dean. We are celebrating our last installment of spooky season content. That's right. So if you're listening to this on the day that it was released, you should be looking at your calendar and seeing that, oh my goodness, it is the spookiest day of all, the whole dang year. It is Halloween, October 31st. So, to commemorate this wonderful day, we've talked about ghosts, we've talked about slashers and killers and vampires and all the spooky, scary things. Goblins, ghouls. Kanye West. Dean has been here for all of it. And now we will discuss, I'm going to put on my spooky voice. Today we are discussing some of our favorite, we'll call this the other category, right? Maybe like non-human, scary, creepy, cool, inventive, whatever you want. Characters, properties, movies, anything in pop culture. Anything goes. So anything that is not human, we'll say. So, Brian?
My number one's Nick.
I'd like to start with you. What is you have any? What's something that you find to be frightening, scary, non-human?
One of my favorite non-human themed scary movies is non-human. Well, anyways, you know what I'm saying. Mentioned this on several episodes already, but one of the best of all time sci-fi, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Again, if for some reason out there you've not seen this movie, go check this out. It still holds up very well. Went to the theater over the summer and saw the 40th anniversary of it. Still holds up very well. It's just great. Kurt Russell, whatever. So it's just it's an alien being, as we know, that absorbs into another living being. So great horror. It's like I said, if you've seen the movie, I don't need to recap it here, but just one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. But certainly one of the best sci-fi movies ever is The Thing. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, you have from The Thing to Tombstone to goddamn Santa Claus. Is there anybody cooler than Kurt Russell?
No,
that's right. Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Herb Brooks in Miracle, great performance, fantastic.
Yep,
there you go.
That's what I guess. One of the best characters is the alien, The Thing, and one of the best movies, The Thing.
Can I also just say I really want to hang out with his son? I just want to kick it with Wyatt Russell. He just seems like the coolest, nicest fucking guy.
Yeah,
sure.
Yep.
And Kurt could be there too. Maybe like a father.
Back in the Marvel universe as well.
Kurt,
All right, let me jump in here, guys, and
ahead.
I want to go to
No.
the grandfather, the OG of what back then was horror. You know, he is the man, the king of all monsters. He is Godzilla.
Mm.
The
Very
character has been going since 1954 and still going strong today. In different iterations, whether it be goofy or serious or even sharing a fucking screen with Matthew Broderick. Not all of them are going to be good, people.
Yeah.
But Godzilla is on my list of our monsters Inc. here. So
Nice.
I
the
probably
king-
can't
the
say
king-
that's
The king.
copyrighted.
Why? I know you like Godzilla. So you've always been a Godzilla fan. What is it about Godzilla that is appealing to you, Dean?
Okay. It is, well, if you want to go like on the original, it's the aspect of we created this monster as human beings because it was based on that nuclear bomb that was dropped in Hiroshima. The remnants of it got onto this lizard, and we made our own monster inadvertently. And so it's pretty much a tale that we have to live with the consequences of our actions as mankind. And that consequences literally came back and bit us in the ass. And then as you go on, he morphs into a protector. So, some of the movies he was the bad
Which is
guy.
not teaching humanity anything.
It's not. But as you went on, it was much different iterations of Godzilla.
Well, it's a good thing we dropped that nuclear bomb.
Turns
those
out being
people.
assholes worked out, eh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
We did just fine, ladies and gentlemen. No, but from the beginning to the protector monster to just the badass monster fighting other monsters. He is. Who as a kid didn't love dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And he was a fighting dinosaur, so to speak. So yeah, that's why my first pick is Godzilla.
Very good.
Nice.
Nick, what do you got?
Okay. Actually, I've got this one written down. I just thought of it today. So I kind of went more the character
He didn't
route.
do prep.
I did do prep.
What?
I did. I was worried that I was going to forget something, so I wrote things down. Kind of to pivot off of Godzilla, but more
Jeremy?
to the what? I'm sorry,
Jeremy?
No.
Is Jeremy Pivot your first choice?
Yes.
What a weird choice.
I think he. No. Actually, he would fit in. He's a monster.
He is.
He is. But he is a human, so he doesn't actually. And it's Pivin. But yes. No. To pivot over to not Godzilla, but King Kong, and on Skull Island, there were very creepy things in the new Skull Island King Kong movie. They were called Skull Crawlers, and they were downright fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
they were massive and fast and creepy, and I'm not sure they were like bird-like things that crawled with wings and skulls, and very, very terrifying. When I remember watching that movie for the first time, just in the back of my mind thinking, could you imagine if you saw something like that in real life?
Pants.
The absolute, yes, just absolute. A color of shit you didn't know you could produce, just all over yourself. That would.
When you could watch a movie
horrifying.
like that and get scared of a monster, and yet Brie Larson's tits are on the same screen. That says something about those monsters.
I'm aroused. I'm pooping. I'm in bed. It's all happening. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of emotions, a lot of bodily functions happening. But no, so I wrote down skull crawlers just because I wasn't going to bring them up so soon.
In the making.
Yeah, it was just they're pretty fucking creepy. They are not of this world. Everything basically on Skull Island is not. But yeah, skull crawlers. I'm gonna go ahead and say that would be a pretty terrifying thing to encounter if they were to be real.
Sure.
Very good. Well, I'm going to go on the same line, Nick, and King Kong. King Kong was always one of my favorite movie monsters as a kid. Watching the original movie, it was just a whole different thing. Just it was amazing at the time that was made. It was amazing technology. But just probably arguably one of the most tragic
Absolutely.
movie monster characters. Being plucked, and we all know the story. It's content on his own, in his own island, his own environment, and the greed of mankind plucks him out of his home, throws him in to New York, and then obviously goes crazy and winds up getting killed. It's this very sad, tragic story, but King Kong, it's just always a cool character. The fighting dinosaurs, the whole thing. So even as a child, I had King Kong posters in my room and everything. I was always drawn to the tragic story of the great King Kong. Just
because you got to think, Kong wasn't a monster until we stole him and brought him to us.
That's exactly right. I think that's kind of the point of that whole movie, right?
Yep.
And once again, in these newer films, humanity learning nothing. He comes here and ends up being
protecting humanity somewhat on that island, right?
Reasons unbeknownst to us.
Yep, that's right. Yes. That's right. Dean, what else you
got? Okay, I have a few of them here. Let's go obscure. Nick, you are not going to know. At least I have two obscure ones here. I have the movie Chud from 1984.
Chud.
What's it stand for again?
What's that?
What's it stand for
remember. I can't remember what Chud stood for.
It's something human underground dweller. Something.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They hid in the sewers. They, so they would come up through the manhole covers, or even it pulled a woman down through her drain at one point. But they were like alien type monster things. But it was Daniel Stern, John Hurd was the lead, and even John Goodman was a police officer in the movie.
That's right. Yes, one of his first movies.
But yeah, and Nick, why this appeals to you is bring it up to your wife. She was so fucking scared of that movie when we were little kids. Oh yeah, she was frightened of that movie.
Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Yep. There you go.
Yep, they ate people, and so Chud from 1984.
Now, they wouldn't be cannibalistic if they ate humans, because they weren't human.
Well, they were humanoid.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
They never really, I don't think they explained if they were like human, or I don't know. And again,
this doesn't sound like the type of movie that has a large
it's a B movie, man. Yeah, it's right, exactly.
It doesn't strike me as a movie that went into a lot of background.
They were once human, but they've been mutated by radioactive chemical toxic waste.
Yeah, like the Toxic Avenger?
Right. But evil.
Kind of like that. Kind of like that.
Evil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep. That's funny.
Okay.
All right. So, Nick.
Chud.
What do you got?
I'm going to go here. Gremlins. We all love the movie.
Sure.
Yep.
Obviously Gizmo was pleasant, but what he spawned was actually quite terrifying. And I remember, like, as a little, that's right, as a little kid, being a little, you know what I mean. Once it's like, oh, cool, there's different ones. Oh, now they're chasing the family around with knives and putting things in blenders and microwaving things, and now they're it's just it got very dangerous very fast. So Gremlins, I'm gonna throw the Gremlins out there.
I like it.
Yeah. Brian,
that movie was, you go back and watch it, it's like almost shockingly violent. That movie.
It is kind of violent. Yeah.
Now let's forget about Gremlins 2, but
I saw they're making maybe a third one.
They're doing something of the Mogwai. I think it's going to be a cartoon.
Okay.
Because the sequel has always been like in talks, and there's been scripts written, back and forth. But I think the latest thing is that it was going to be a cartoon of some sort.
Okay.
About something of the Mogwai, something like that.
Okay. My next one here, one of my favorites, it recently had a resurgence in popularity from a very very successful movie on streaming that came out over the summer that we all watched and enjoyed, I believe. The movie Prey, starring Predator.
It's a good one.
The Predator alien race. Yeah, like I said, the original movie with Schwarzenegger and everybody. That still
absolutely
is a super entertaining movie.
What do you think Goldhead Dean is wearing? He's wearing a Predator mask.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So again, if you're a minor pop culture nerdy sci-fi, you know what Predator is. Just it's a very interesting character.
What does it matter if somebody works in a coal mine when it doesn't make any sense? Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Boy.
Speaking of not making sense, there's Dean's jokes. No, actually, that one did make sense.
Yep. Tune in next week to Convincing Idiots, where Kanye West replaces Zennial Dean.
This was actually a safer choice for our podcast.
Yeah. I mean, less offensive.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
It's less offensive.
Yeah, a man of God.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating character. I love it. Just the intelligent alien chasing humans and killing them for sport, and not even humans, just prey in general, animals, humans, putting them up as trophies. It's how man is treating the animals on the earth is how this predator is treating humans. So it's a whole play on that as well. So looks great. The whole vibe is cool. Just Predator, love it.
Absolutely.
All right, my turn here.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that Nick's?
Cheers.
Mine. All right, I'm going to go with one of the more frightening movies from the 80s, because this movie there was no supernatural things to it. There was no, killers, and this all came down to like, oh shit, this could actually happen. The movie is 1983 Stephen King original Cujo.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just a rabid dog that won't let this mother and her son out of this car.
Terrifying.
And it was
Tragic,
super fucking scary. And there were no aliens or toxic monsters. It was an actual just dog. They got rabies, and it was a giant fucking dog. So
Saint Bernard. Yep.
Yeah. So Cujo.
That is a good one. That whole movie was, like I said, just tragic with the dog and just the added tense because they're stuck in the hot car and the heat. It's just a very. I haven't watched a movie in a while, but that was one of his better ones for sure.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
I am going to go with a lovable monster. Not so much a monster, maybe perceived as a monster, but far from it. Certainly not human, but certainly far from being a monster as well.
You're making me blush.
Not you, but rather Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lovable monster, certainly not frightening, so maybe doesn't quite fit the mold, but definitely one worthy of a mention. Harry,
it's no American Sasquatch, but
No, that's right. Yes, but Harry found his way into the family and into our hearts.
That's right.
And so Harry deserves a mention. Harry and the Hendersons.
There you go. Okay.
Brian.
One of the this movie kind of changed. It was very creative horror in its time, and I know Dean, it's one of your favorite movies of all time. I'm going to give you Jaws. How about
That's on my list here.
Yeah, absolutely. So just genius.
It made people afraid to go to the beach, like in the water, like regular people. I know to this day say, "Oh, I saw it in 1975, and I still won't go to the beach." I mean,
what a pussy!
A fucking but seriously, what a movie did that to somebody? A fucking beast that you only saw for a couple minutes total
Right.
did that to human beings. So I mean, that's definitely has to be on the list.
Yeah, the irony with that movie, as we know, is because they couldn't get the mechanical shark to work that well.
Right.
They had to be creative in the shooting, and it made the movie that much better because you were
100%.
seeing a lot of that movie from the perspective of the shark, right? So, yeah, just amazing stuff. And obviously, that was a movie that had the extra whole other level with the stellar score by John Williams in that movie with the theme. You as soon as you hear two notes of that, you know exactly what movie that's from,
Right.
and it gives you that sense of uneasiness even to this
Absolutely.
day. So genius movie, great character. The other movies kind of fell off the rails in my opinion, but that original movie was fantastic.
Yep. All right, I'm going, since that was going to be next on my list. I'm going to go back to little obscurity here, and I'm going to go 1986 Critters.
Boy, wow.
Yeah, what it is Billy Zane, Leonardo DiCaprio, Scott Grimes.
Wow.
From 1986, Critters were these little furry aliens with like giant row of like sharp fucking teeth, and they would, as a group, like, because they look cute as if you saw them until their mouths open, like, and they all attack you at one time, crawl up. It's like Brian, help me out here. What was the Star Trek with the little
the Tribbles?
Tribbles, yes. It was like a almost like a real life, whatever of Tribbles. I mean, yeah, just little cute furry creatures that little critters that weren't actually as nice or cuddly.
Yeah, the 80s had a lot of those like weird small creature movies. There was a lot of those.
I'm gonna I'll sneak a aforementioned here. It was called Night of the Locusts. I think I've talked on the show before about it, but Night of the Locusts was killer giant rabbits. And they filmed it by filming just regular rabbits, and they would feed them like ketchup and stuff. So like when they would do this with their mouth and you could see their teeth, it was all red and stuff, and they would put little things in there to look like humans, but they would film it like the rabbit's coming after you. So like they film it, downward, so it looks like it's huge, and then it shows, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was fucking amazing. The 80s were awesome.
Wow.
I will stay in the 80s here. 1982, one of my favorite movies to this day is The Dark Crystal. And the villains in that movie were called the Skeksis. And they were these... They were Skeksis, and they knew it. They were these like bird-like creatures, and they harnessed the power of the Dark Crystal to make them powerful, keep them in power, and then they would take these little podling creatures and drain them of their essence, basically just suck the life out of them and drink it to keep them young. And very honestly, for a child's and a Jim Henson and Frank Oz movie, very dark, like just very, like you said, the 80s. Like shit was just different, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And the labyrinth, was weird with David and the kidnapping of the child and the.
But did you know Little Podling Creature is also what little Brian was called when he was little?
Little Podling,
Little Podling Creature.
Yeah.
Grew up to be the Podlander.
The Podlander.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes, that's right. The mighty Podlander, I would add.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, the Skeksis were. It was when I would watch it as a kid, they were like kind of cool characters, but also like definitely very creepy, very twisted, and just menacing characters. But there were times when like it did kind of creep me out a little bit. So it was just I always love those movies. Like that movie is just fantastic, and the series that they made a couple years ago for Netflix that predates the movie is fantastic as well. So
were those creatures or whatever in that?
Yep. It's it's all the same. It's most of the same characters, at least the Skeksis from that reign over the over the land in the Dark Crystal. But have you ever
No,
I don't know if either one of you ever seen it?
I've seen it a long time ago.
Okay.
I don't really
it came
remember
out in '82, and just I just loved it. It's just fantastic, really original and very well done movie. But Yeah. So yeah, the Skeksis, 1982.
Very
Nice.
good. Okay, so I interesting. Nick has not mentioned this one yet here, but we talked about this on recent episodes as well. I know, Nick, we talked about this character on our episode we did together over the summer, where we talked about our favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. This character is just a force of death and destruction, the Terminator. So,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, the first movie, again, he was just a terrifying character. Just that, just he kept, as we all know, we've all seen it, just relentlessly coming after you. Just so good in that movie. Yeah, so one of the best non-human, terrifying characters of all time, the Terminator, when he was the villain in the first movie. Obviously, the second one became a good guy, but that first one was very frightening. Even to this day, when I watch that movie now, it's just like you know exactly what's going to happen, and it still creates
It's unnerving.
tension. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, much like Brian, I mean, no matter what you do, he just keeps coming and coming and coming, and
That's right. That's
you
right.
can't stop him.
Nope.
Not till I'm done.
That's right.
Until the job is finished.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, I have got my last one that I have here, along the lines of what you had with the Predator. I have from 1979 and forward,
Yes.
going forward and will be in the future. I have Alien, the Xenomorph.
Yeah, very good.
Is the last on my list. It was. I mean, what was the tagline? In space, nobody can hear you scream.
That's right. Great.
It's a great line. Great line.
It was terrifying, especially for its time. Nobody, James Cameron and whatnot, nobody saw anything like that.
Genius.
Not only you have the alien, but like take the little things like the goo, like the whatever, probably Vaseline or whatever.
Yeah.
That dripped off him. I mean, it made it like that little bit more extra, just disgusting and terrifying,
Right. And what a creative design. That always blew me away. Like, of all the different renditions of aliens we've seen at and now maybe because the alien movies were so, popular in pop culture that like we think of those movies, but like just an original take on what an alien might look like, something from another world, but the elongated. It's right. I mean, it's just such a cool character, and just aesthetically, just very cool to look at.
And then on top of it, they present to you that it can implant its baby in you and it will just burst out of your stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, the Xenomorph from Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens, however you pronounce whatever movie. Alien.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Yep.
I'll go with another cool looking one. I've probably mentioned this on some Halloween episode. It is my favorite Halloween time movie. I just watched it last night, but the monster Pumpkinhead from Pumpkinhead is one of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. We watched it last night. Robin watched it for the first time. Commented on how bad. She said the acting was really terrible, and I said, well, yes, of course it is. Of course it is. It's an 80s movie, and it's a horror movie, and of course it is. You're not here for the acting. You're here for the killing and how cool the thing looks. That's what we're doing here. But yes, every time I watch it, and with all the reboots that have been done and all I'm like, this could be so well done. You could tweak a couple things about the storyline. Honestly, other than the way that the monster moves and its amount of engagement with the characters, you don't even have to change how it looks that much. But with better acting, it'll tweak some storyline, plot details and things like that. That could really be a great reboot. Somebody could remake that movie with a similar plot line and just tweak a few things to bring it up to speed. And I mean, I just think that could be so well done. It's just such a cool looking monster. And there again, similar to the Terminator, to where like it won't stop until it's done. Has this, whatever you call it, this ritual, this blood pact. It will not stop until it has killed all the people that it is marked to kill. It's a demon. It's an unstoppable thing. So yeah, Pumpkinhead, 1988. That was a good year. It's the year your favorite millennial joined the Earth, and it was the year
All right.
Pumpkinhead was brought to the big screen.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. All good
His head
things
is
happen
the
in 88.
size of a pumpkin.
Operation Mindcrime also released in 88. Queensryche's.
Yes. Yes.
Potentially the greatest album ever made.
It's very good. Awesome. Okay. I'll name a few quickly here, just kind of set the tone for non-human horror. One is on my T-shirt I'm wearing here, Frankenstein's monster. Just the classic Universal monsters. Really, you could rattle off a bunch. So, Frankenstein's monster, the creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula is technically is non-human. He's undead, a being. So just great stuff. Visually, back then it was a whole different thing. The special effects in the time for all those movies was it kind of setting a new standard in special effects with makeup and everything else. So all those great Universal monsters were awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean, you have any other-
Well, I was just going to touch on Frankenstein.
Please.
It again, like I think the best monster movies in horror movies, regardless if the monsters are human or especially if they're not human. I think what all of them does, and it starts with Frankenstein, is it puts a mirror on humans and society in general and how awful we actually are. And it does it in brilliant ways. It takes that emotion of fear and fright, and when you're vulnerable like that, maybe you see us in a different light, and that's exactly what they're trying to show you. How we treated the monster in Frankenstein. Yes, he did kill the girl, but like he wasn't even supposed to be there. Like you don't play God. You don't fuck with bringing brand new life or whatever, because that's the consequence. And then once you do that, and now you're pissed and you want to destroy the being that you create. It just the parallels of different things in society is always what these movies have done for society, for the movie going society. And again, it started with Frankenstein.
No, you're right. It's like you say, he wasn't supposed to be there. The craziness of a person to want to create a living dead being. You're right.
Right.
And again, another one of the more tragic characters in horror movie history. Absolutely.
Yep.
Nick, do you have any other ones?
I have one final one, and this I've been saving this one for last because it is in fact, it's not scary, but it is definitely the most dastardly plan foiling, just in the way. I mean, it's probably the worst monster in any movie. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Ted the Reindeer from Jingle All the Way. Okay, so here's Howard Langston. He's in the final phase of his plan to break into his neighbor's house and finally get this fucking Turbo Man for Jamie that he's been, mind you, all over town looking for. And there's this fucking reindeer
Committing crimes for
yeah, well, it was gonna go off without a hitch. You know what I mean? It was gonna be fine.
Felonies. I mean, if we're being specific, a lot of felonies.
That's right. Could be
Okay,
in jail.
minor details.
Yes.
Okay, minor details. This is the minutia. Okay, but at the end of the day, quick in, quick out. Get one present, steal it from the other kid, the neighbor kid, take it home, right? And here comes this fucking reindeer, causes this big old scuffle with poor Howard Langston, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in the middle of the living room, okay? Where things are falling over, the trees falling over, and then the statue of the three wise men, Balthazar's head's in the fireplace, he kicks it out the window. I mean, now we're talking all kinds of damage to the property of the neighbors, okay? All due to fucking Ted the goddamn reindeer, okay? When Howard Langston was just trying to get a toy for his son. So Ted the reindeer from Jingle All the Way is the worst monster. He is non-human as he is a reindeer, and therefore he fits the criteria. And that is my final and correct submission.
Has anybody ever determined or figured out how you're going to be Ted Langston and have the Austrian accent? Like,
It's Howard Langston.
okay.
Ted is the name of the neighbor and the reindeer.
Oh, okay, so Howard or Langston both are not Austrian sounding names. So, like, maybe he's the monster. Maybe, like, he killed somebody and stole their identity.
How do you know that he was not adopted? Simple.
Why does he still have the accent?
I don't know. Maybe he was adopted later in life.
What, at like 25?
I will not have you questioning the good nature of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Howard Langston, who was just trying to be a good father. Last minute, albeit, but
he was
trying
not
to
a
do
good
right
father.
by his son. He was a good father.
He felt guilty for being in a shitty movie, first of all. But other than that,
oh, I'm sorry that he was too busy to go buy a Turbo Man because he was busy selling mattresses, providing the beautiful house in the wonderful neighborhood for his family.
well, you got to cover up for your whatever spying he was doing for other governments.
That's right. That's right. All right. So these, you touched on this a little bit too, Dean, as far as some of the tones and themes that run through these type of movies here. Do you find yourself? Are these movies completely different feel and vibe than a horror movie that has human characters? Do you find yourself rooting more for the non-human characters
For
versus,
the most part, yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, how are they different? I mean, and why do you maybe feel more empathy toward the non-human character?
Because a lot of the times it's misunderstood, or it's not their fault that they're put in the situation. I'm not, they end up killing people and doing all this, but a lot of the times, like, okay, take for Chud, for example. These were humans that got for whatever radioactive shit that we were dumping in the system. Again, it was a mirror shown on society about the pollution that we're putting into this earth and down in the sewers and stuff. That's what that movie was. So, all of these characters, not all of them, but the majority of them, it was brought upon them by no means of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that sense, it gives you that little bit of, you feel bad for them in a sense. Of course, they do bad things and kill people and eat people and stuff. That's not cool. I don't approve of that. But you do have that sympathy because like I said, a lot of the time, it's not on their own accord.
Right. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Because, like you said, they're these other beings plunged into a human world, a human situation in which they don't understand. And whatever happens after that is just kind of, why are you fucking with it in the first place? You know what I mean?
And we're confusing as fuck.
Yeah, right. So, I agree. And, I don't know if that's because we don't typically, we don't tend to cut humans as much slack, maybe because we are humans and we've met a lot of humans and we assume that a lot of them are just shitty.
Right.
So
you're just a shitty human. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, typically, like you said, it's like if it's a monster kind of situation, they're just kind of rolling with the punches. They're being plunged into a situation that they didn't ask for, that is foreign to them, and yeah, things are gonna kind of spiral out of control probably.
Like
Yeah,
if you run up to a stray dog and bite it, and it bites you back, you can't blame the dog.
Right.
Hi,
I'm
Brian.
with you guys in a sense of all the horror movies that have human characters as the villain. I mean, it's fun to watch if you're watching Jason go on, killing teenagers and all that. I mean, it's entertaining in that respect, but you're not necessarily rooting for Jason per
Teenagers.
se.
Get him! I fucking hate teenagers. Get him!
But these movies, if like you said, if it stars a character that is taken out of its element, like Kong or something, I always find myself rooting for Godzilla or rooting for King Kong versus the humans in these type of movies here. So,
and then with those Jason movies and stuff, these teenagers, I mean, they're running from him. They could get away so much easier if only they had the information that I'm about to give you listening at home right now or wherever you may be.
That's right.
You too could get away from a serial killer much quicker and much faster than that by the power of your own 2 feet, but with rather the power of electricity.
Yes.
And our friends at RPM Bike Shop can introduce you to just such a convenient device. That's right, an electric bike might be the way for you to outrun your local serial killer. Just be sure to go to Facebook and search RPM Bike Shop. They are located conveniently right near here, Carrollton, Ohio. So give them a call at 330-808-7792. You can also go to their website. That's rpmbikeshop.com. And there you can see pictures of their wonderful products, their electric bikes that they have to offer. So be sure to stop on by, give them a call, let them know the convincing idiots told you it's the best way to escape a serial killer. RPM Bike Shop.
I so want to be privy to that conversation with somebody that say, I was told that this is the best way to escape serial killers. Like, what? So,
That's right. And because we're short on time, I'm not going to try to work in any creative segues whatsoever.
Lazy.
That's right.
No, but
Go ahead.
Real quick before we wrap up, Brian, I did want to say, when all of us are faced with these killers and stuff, it does the best thing we can do. All I know is it would drive me to drink. How about you guys?
Stiff drink would help me handle stress.
That's
Absolutely.
right. There you go. There's a nice word.
And sometimes when I am stressed, I'm like, oh, where's the alcohol? Where's the alcohol?
That's
it's
right.
like if it was all kept in one convenient location that
That's
maybe I
right.
had somewhere to
It would be
store it, I could be
helpful.
like, there's the alcohol. I must go to, location X to get my alcohol.
Only if there was one.
If only.
I think I know where you guys are going with this.
Oh?
Yes.
Do you?
So go check out our. Yes, I do. Go check out our sponsor, Golden Heart Tattoos. Creative. These guys are terrific. They've done work
They
on
will
all of us
tattoo
here.
liquor bottles on you.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct. So give them a call in the Norton, Ohio area, from the Northeast Ohio area, 234-706-2982. Their website, goldenhearttattoos.com. They're also on Facebook. Go check them out. Schedule your appointment. Get yourself some ink in 2022 before it's too late, before the year runs out. And I'm only joking.
It's
I know
scary how late in the year it's becoming.
That's right. It's
Get it
very
before the
scary.
chud gets you.
That's right. But I know just kidding here. So I know the Golden Heart Tattoos. So we appreciate their sponsorship. And going back to your drinking and where you can find your bottles and all that stuff, you might find your bottles in a floating liquor cabinet built, quality woodwork, handcrafted by the Bellmark Amazon store. Go look them up on Amazon. Specialize in floating liquor cabinets, floating nightstands, and countertop compost bins. Again, these look beautiful, affordable, delivered right through the Amazon delivery service. Go look them up. And, the holidays are coming up. It'd be a great Christmas gift for somebody out there as well.
Absolutely.
So go check them out. Bellmark Amazon store. Well, gentlemen, we've come to an end of another another episode here. Nick, I have no idea how you want to do the outro today, but Dean, do you have any suggestions for young Nick as far as outro, sir?
Yeah. Since this is the end of spooky season, it is, if you're listening to on the day this drops, it is Halloween.
Yes, it is.
Very
Nikolai,
scary. Yes.
I would like you to do the outro as if you're doing the narration for a scary movie trailer.
Good.
Okay. Coming to your ear holes this fall. This Monday, in fact. It's Halloween.
Today.
What better way to find your favorite idiots on the internet than by going to a link tree? That's right. You can find your way to Convincing Idiots Linktree by finding look under the covers, look under the bed, check the closet, or go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linktre. There you will find Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I was going to say Snapchat, but that's not one of them. And so much more beyond your wildest fears. You can also find that information by going to our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I have been a millennial, Nick.
And I am Zennial Dean.
And I am Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that the best way to outrun your local serial killer is to cozy up to an episode of Convincing Idiots? They surely won't follow you to listen to one themselves. Don't be scared, it's just a voice. It's fine.
Everybody, Gen X Brian with Millennial Nick and Zennial Dean. You know, we need more people besides Nick's mom watching us. Give us a like and subscribe.
Ham gravy.
Gen X Brian here with Millennial Nick. And is that a thumb? No, it's Zennial Dean. This week on Convincing Idiots, we bring you...
Is that a thumb?
Darn it.
You fucked it
I was
up.
trying so hard. I'm gonna keep that in.